So firstly, we will understand the meaning of trade unionism. A trade union or labor union is an organization of workers who have banded together to achieve common goals such as better working conditions. The trade union, through its leadership, bargains with the employer on behalf of union members and negotiates labor contracts with employers. This may include the negotiation of wages, work rules, complaint procedures, rules governing hiring, firing, and promotion of workers, benefits, workplace safety, and policies. Trade unions were originated in Europe but became popular in other countries during Industrial Revolution when employees were being mistreated by the employers. Trade unions are organized for protection and promotion of interests of their members in particular and workers in general. It generally pursues the following broad objectives. Steady employment. Steady employment is something which the employer by himself may not be able to guarantee to the workers. Through the unions, maintenance of full employment can be achieved. Rationalization of personnel policies. The economic security of an employee is determined not only by level of wages and duration of his employment, but also by management's personnel policies. In its selection of employees for layoff, retrenchment, transfer, and promotion, the assignment of employees to jobs, etc., which are facilitated by unions. Voice in decisions affecting workers. Workers may successfully pressurize for higher wages. The intervention of trade union in such decisions of management is the only method by which the worker is able to achieve any degree of control over the affairs that concern him. Recognition and participation. Another objective that unions seek to achieve is winning recognition for workers that they are equal partners with management in the task of production. It is an intellectual quality, that is, the intellectual faculties of workers are no inferior to those of management. Gaining legislative enactments. To provide legal sanctions to its demands, the unions attempt to get these framed in form of acts so that they become permanent features of the contract between employers and workers. Miscellaneous services. Modern trade unions also engage in providing educational, medical, recreational, and other facilities for development and welfare of their members. Trade unions perform a number of functions in order to achieve these objectives, which can broadly be classified as militant functions, fraternal functions. The militant functions of trade unions are performed basically for betterment of the position of their members in relation to their employment. They can be summed up as to achieve higher wages and better working conditions, to raise the status of workers as a part of industry, to protect laborers against victimization and injustice. While the fraternal functions performed by trade unions aims at rendering help to its members in times of need and improving their efficiency, they can be summed up as to take up welfare measures for improving the morale of workers, to generate self-confidence among workers, to encourage sincerity and discipline among workers, to provide opportunities for promotion and growth, to protect women workers against discrimination. Due to these objectives and functions of trade unions, it holds the following importance. It gives a platform for collective bargaining. It helps in communication between management and workers. It helps in protecting the interest of workers. They also play an important educational role, organizing courses for their members on a wide range of matters. Seeking a healthy and safe working environment is also a prominent feature of union activity. It helps in the recruitment and selection of workers. It inculcates discipline among the workforce. It enables settlement of industrial disputes in a rational way. After studying this lesson, you will be able to enumerate the objectives, functions, and importance of trade unions, underline the reasons for joining a trade union, discuss the management of trade unions, analyze the present condition of trade unions, trace the evolution of trade union movement in India. If you have been wondering what a trade union does and how it can help you, then here are 8 ways in which a trade union can help you. 1. Trade unions are designed to help members to have their say and voice their opinions in a way that leaders and management will take note. By combining members' opinions, the message from the workers is stronger than just an individual worker moaning and not complaining to management. 2. A trade union will provide representation for tribunals and disciplinary actions and provide legal services when required. This can save thousands of pounds and ensure that the person representing you has the necessary experience and has your best interest at heart. 3. Trade unions campaign at local levels, and regional campaigns could be in support of issues that affect a town, just as a factory opening up or helping migrant workers looking for work. 4. Provide support for national campaigns. National campaigns affect all workers and cover subjects such as pensions, working conditions, employment law, and much more. Equal rights for all workers are important to trade unions. 5. Trade unions ensure that health and safety rules and regulations are adhered to. From workers on an oil rig to workers in an office, all employees have the right to safe working conditions and a disease-free environment. 6. Trade union membership helps to get better pay and working conditions. By campaigning on behalf of members, trade unions are able to negotiate better pay and working conditions. 7. Trade unions also carry out research for new campaigns and policies for members and government policy. 8. Trade union membership helps in ensuring job security, as the union is able to voice its concern and campaign on behalf of its members. Now we can understand the role of trade unions in productivity. Productivity consciousness has acquired worldwide momentum. Higher productivity is necessary for the survival of any nation. It stands for proper utilization of available resources to achieve the best results with minimum cost. It is clearly understood that labor force must increase its productivity for the survival of the industry. Workers cannot survive in this changed economical world if the industrial units do not survive. Trade unions are associated with higher productivity, lower employee turnover, improved workplace communication, and a better trained workforce. According to a recent survey of 73 independent studies on unions and productivity, the available evidence points to a positive and statistically significant association between unions and productivity in the US manufacturing and education sectors of around 10 and 7% respectively. Some scholars have found an even larger positive relationship between unions and productivity. In introducing all schemes relating to productivity, such as system of payment by results, individual and group incentive schemes, norms of staffing and workload, changes in organization and methods, rationalization, mechanization, etc., the following considerations should be respected. Get actively involved in the introduction of such schemes. may be considering a minimum of a fallback wage which is provided irrespective of productivity. Aid the management to carry out a continuous appraisal of factors affecting productivity such as methods and work study, continuous supply of good material, etc. All measurements of work should be done jointly and must provide for factors like needs of safety, rest and relaxation, interruptions, delays, etc. Now let's discuss how to manage the trade unions. For this, we need to discuss the following terms: union structure, the flow of authority; member allegiance, the organizational bond; union goals; managing internal affairs of the union. First is union structure, which defines the hierarchy of working of trade unions in a nation. They constitute themselves in the hierarchy shown in diagram, which includes union members, step stewards, branches, and district office, and at last the national office. Second one is member allegiance. The unions, to become organizationally strong, need a larger membership following. The membership to a union depends largely upon how well the union convinces the members that it satisfies not only the economic interests but also the non-economic interests of its members. In other words, the unions, with the initiative taken by their leaders, have to work constantly for strengthening the organizational bond between the members and the unions. Third one is union goals, which gives stress on the fact that every trade union must define its goal and communicate them to every member of the union. This leads to clarity of what to do. There are a number of goals of a trade union which we have already studied. The last one is managing internal affairs of the union. In order to understand how the unions manage their internal affairs, one has to analyze, among other things, the communication within the unions, the decision-making process in the unions, the union elections, and the membership drive. These all should be well understood and communicated. Trade unions should give full efforts to manage all such things so that overall trade union emerges as efficient organization. Now the last topic for discussion is condition of trade unions both in India as well as the world widely. Public opinion is hostile to trade unions in most countries. The public is not against unionism in principle. It is against the way union and union leaders function. The public image of union leaders is that they are autocratic, corrupt, and indifferent to the public interest. Too much power, too little morality sums up the public's assessment of unions. There have been many opinion surveys, especially in the United States, which brings out the poor public image of trade unions. Trade union in India is the primary instrument for promoting the union of trade union movement and championing the cause of working class in India. The Madras Labour Union was the first organized trade union in India, followed by a large number of trade unions in the Indian industrial centers. The Indian government passed the Trade Unions Act in 1926, which legalized the registered trade union in India. The Act also gives protection to these trade unions against certain civil and criminal cases. There are, at present, many trade unions in India which regulates the aspirations of the working classes. The All India Trade Union Congress, AITUC, is the oldest trade union in India. Until 1945, it remained the central trade union organization in India. Some others are All India Bank Officers Confederation, All India State Government Employees Federation, Center of Indian Trade Unions, Hind Mazdoor Sabha, National Confederation of Officers Association, Trade Union International. Growth of trade union movement in India can be briefly summarized under steps, which include: First strike in 1877, First Factory Act in 1875, First Workers' Organization in India in 1890, Madras Labour Union founded in 1918, Textile Labour Association founded in 1920, formation of AITUC in 1920, Indian Trade Unions Act in 1926, formation of NTUF in 1928, formation of Indian Federation of Labour in 1939, formation of INTUC, HMS and UTUC, formation of BMS, formation of CITU and UTUC in 1960. Now let us check if we have understood the various concepts discussed in this lesson clearly. Militant functions lead to the betterment of the position of their members in relation to their employment. Right or wrong? Right. Negotiation is where workers in the factory discuss with management the issues which affect people working in an organization. Right or wrong? Wrong. Higher productivity stands for proper utilization of available resources to achieve the best results with minimum cost. Right or wrong? Right. Now let's revise the whole concept. Trade unions are organizations. They have their own structure, policies, norms, activities, communication system, and leadership. Trade unions are formed to protect and promote the interests of their members. Their primary function is to protect the interest of workers against discrimination and unfair labor practices. Trade unions perform a number of functions in order to achieve the objectives. These functions can be broadly classified into two categories: militant functions and fraternal function. They provide the advice and support to ensure that differences of opinion do not turn into major conflicts. The central function of a trade union is to represent people at work, but they also have a wider role in protecting their interests. Every trade union has its own structure, which reflects the stated role of each member, division of tasks, the interrelationship between the people performing different tasks, and the coordination of various activities of the organization. Trade unionism in India suffers from a variety of problems such as politicization of the unions, multiplicity of unions, inter-union rivalry, uneconomic size, financial debility, and dependence on outside leadership. Thank you.